Welcome our SVM 11th student. Today we are going to discuss about mechanical wave motion and its types in our waves lesson. So what about mechanical waves and when we are calling them as a mechanical waves, that we are going to see. Based on that medium requirement, that mechanical waves are classified into two types. Waves which can be propagated with medium or without medium. Based on that, we classify the mechanical waves into two types. We have two types of mechanical waves. One is mechanical wave, second one is non-mechanical wave. That we are going to take. Two types of mechanical waves. One is the mechanical wave, second one is non-mechanical wave. So now which one we called as a mechanical wave means waves which can be propagated with a medium, that is called as a mechanical wave. Waves which are propagating, for that propagation that require a medium means that wave is called as a mechanical wave. So that's why we simply or shortly named as waves which require medium for propagation is called as a mechanical waves. That is first one, mechanical wave. That is wave which waves which require the medium for propagation. Is called mechanical wave. So once again listen, which is called as a mechanical wave means waves which require the medium for propagation is called as a mechanical wave. Next one is non-mechanical wave. Without medium, the wave which can be propagated, that is called as a non-mechanical wave. So for these two, we have example also. For this mechanical wave, we have an example. Sound waves is one of the example for mechanical waves. Another one is the non-mechanical. Non-mechanical wave. Waves which do not require the medium for propagation. No need of any medium. That's why we are defining as waves which do not require any medium for propagation. Is called non-mechanical wave. We have an example for non-mechanical wave. Light is one of the example for non-mechanical. Light wave is one of the example for non-mechanical wave. Not only that light wave, all electromagnetic waves are example for non-mechanical waves. So, based on that medium requirement, waves are classified into two types: mechanical wave and non-mechanical wave. Waves which requires a medium for propagation, that wave is called as a mechanical wave. Waves which do not require a medium for propagation, that is called as a non-mechanical wave. So at the time of propagating the waves from one place to another place, their medium particles are vibrated. Based on the direction of the vibration, the waves can be classified into further two types. Based on that vibration of the particle at the time of propagation of that wave, then the waves are classified into two types that are called as a transverse waves and longitudinal waves. That is based on medium particle. Medium particles vibration at the time of propagation of the waves. Is classified into two types. That are, one is transverse waves, another one is the longitudinal waves. Second one is longitudinal waves. Based on that medium particle vibration direction for the direction of the propagation, waves are classified into two types: transverse waves and longitudinal waves. Now we are going to see that transverse waves, how the transverse waves are propagating, how the medium particles are vibrating. For that, we will take one example. We take a long rope or any one of that long string. That strings, one end is going to connect with a rigid support. Another end is taken in our hand. If you give a quick jerk of up and down, if you give a quick jerk of up and down, that string is oscillated from our hand to that where we tied at that up to that rigid support. So first of all, we have taken the rigid support. Another thing, we have taken one of that string, long string. That strings, one end is going to connect with a rigid support, another one end is in our hand. Another one is in our hand. Initially, if you taken the string and stretched it in a straight way, horizontally. Now, I am going to give quick jerk of up and down. if we give quick jerk of up and down, this string is going to oscillates. The oscillation is started from our hand, where we initiating, where we give the quick jerk to that string, there it is started and moves up to that end of that string, which is connected to that rigid support, So that's why if you give a quick jerk, the waves are propagated in this way. Like that it is propagated. So initially that stretched string is in along the horizontal direction alone, but because of our given quick jerk, some portion of that string is moves in upward direction. So next it will moves in downward direction, and we will see finally this is vibrated as like that sinusoidal waves, So we can call that is one of the sinusoidal waveform of our waveform. There we have the movement of that string in upward from the mean position. That what portion of that string is moves in upward from its mean position, that part can be called as a crest. And what part of that string is moves in downward direction, that may be called as a trough. So crest, trough, crest, trough, like that. That is propagated from our hand to that where we have connected. So this type of waves are called as a transverse wave, but in that wave, that medium particles are moves in up and down, that is perpendicular to that direction of that propagation. So which is the direction of the propagation means it is the direction of the propagation. To that perpendicularly the string is vibrating. So like that, if it is vibrated, that type of vibration which wave we have, that wave is called as a transverse waves. So there we have a definition for transverse wave motion. Medium particles are vibrating about their mean position to the direction, about the mean position to the direction perpendicular to the direction of the propagation. In which direction it is vibrating means perpendicular direction to the direction of the propagation, medium particles are vibrating. That's why we have a definition for transverse wave motion. In a transverse wave motion, the particles in a medium that are vibrating about a mean position, based on the mean position, about the mean position, in a direction. In what direction means perpendicular direction. In a direction that is perpendicular to the direction of propagation. That is called as a transverse wave motion. In a transverse wave motion, the particles in a medium vibrate about their mean position in a direction perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Then that type of wave is called as a transverse wave. We have examples. All electromagnetic waves are transverse nature vibrations, or having a transverse wave nature vibrations. Okay. Here the medium particles are vibrating perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So what is forming in our transverse wave means crest and trough. Major requirement here is the medium should be elastic nature. Medium should elastic nature. Then only that transverse waves can be propagated. So for that, in a solids or the surface of that liquids, that transverse wave can be propagated. That can be generated on that solids and surface of that liquids. One of the example we can take on water. On the water surface, we can produce here transverse waves. In here solids, we can produce here transverse wave because of its elastic nature. Elastic natures. So particles vibrations are perpendicular to the direction of the propagation. Then here forming crest and trough. Crest and trough. Automatically that is moving from one position to another position. Then it requires a elastic medium for propagation. That is, for transverse wave propagation we require a elastic medium. In inelastic medium, these transverse waves cannot propagate. So, okay, that is about that transverse waves. Next we are going to see about that longitudinal waves. Longitudinal waves, which is called as a longitudinal waves, means particles in a medium makes a vibration in the direction of that propagation itself. For that we are going to take on one of that example diagram, practical diagram. If you take on a long spring, that spring has a two end. One end is going to connect with a rigid support, another one end we are going to take on our hand. If you push in a forward direction to that string, that spring is vibrated, makes a vibrations back and forth, back and forth. That we will take on the diagram. Okay. Longitudinal waves for producing purpose. This rigid wall, then normal spring we are going to take on. Each and every boundings are equally placed. That is the meaning. No disturbance given on that spring. The spring is in normal condition. That we can call that is in a rest. Now I am given sudden push and leave it. If you apply a force to that spring, suddenly push and we leave it means that the springs are gets vibrations. But in which direction it is vibrating means in the direction of the propagation. We have a vibration. That we will pattern in another diagram. After that, given a sudden push, the spring's state will represent in our diagram. So what is given in our diagram means, here number of woundings are very closer, but number of woundings are too larger distance. So this is in a compressed state. This is in an elongated, stretched state. So that's why this is named as compressions, which is in the stretched case, that is called as a rarefactions. This portion is named as compressions. This is stretched part called as a rarefactions. So what is forming in our longitudinal wave propagation means compressions and rarefactions. But in transverse wave, crest and trough. Crest and trough. The medium particle in the longitudinal waves, medium particles are vibrated in the direction of the propagation itself. In the direction of the propagation itself, and what we have formed in that wave propagation means compressions and rarefactions. Compressions and rarefactions. Where we are seeing the compressions means that are closed woundings spring. That number of woundings are too close as compared to the normal. That is called as a compressions. Further, near to this, the springs woundings are somewhat larger distance. That is, in a stretched case, that portion is called as a rarefactions. So that's why compressions and rarefactions are alternately formed to propagation of that waves in our medium of a spring. Okay. We have a definition for that longitudinal wave motion. Okay. The definition of the longitudinal waves, how we are defining means, in a longitudinal wave motion, the particles of a medium vibrated about a mean position in a direction parallel to that direction of the propagation. Parallel to the direction of the propagation. That we are going to tackle. The particles of a medium vibrate in a direction parallel to the direction of the propagation. Or how they are vibrating means, in a longitudinal wave motions, the particles of the medium vibrated in a direction parallel to that direction of the propagation, but it is in about a mean position. Anyhow, the direction of that vibration is parallel to the direction of the propagation itself. Okay. Next, these longitudinal waves can be propagated in both elastic medium as well as the inelastic medium. And sound wave is one of the example for longitudinal waves. The sound wave propagated in that longitudinal form. There we have a crest and trough. Without the elastic also in a medium we can propagate these longitudinal waves. That's why we are saying that longitudinal waves has a vibration parallel to the direction of the propagation, and here compressions and rarefactions are formed in any type of medium. In all mediums this can be propagated. That longitudinal waves can be propagated either elastic or inelastic medium. These longitudinal waves can be propagated. Next, in both longitudinal waves and transverse waves, we have that crest and trough in transverse waves, compressions and rarefactions in our longitudinal waves. That is, in a transverse wave, crest and trough. Longitudinal waves, compressions and rarefactions. So anyhow, that waves is termed in some of that physical quantities that we are going to see. So for that we are going to tackle a diagram also. So if two transverse wave we are going to tackle, that two transverse waves are going to propagated in a same instant in a same direction in our medium. So at the time the two waves how they are propagating, that two waves how we can differentiate even though they are in a sinusoidal nature, that we are going to see that. For that example, one of that transverse wave. So what is there means crest and trough. Another wave also we are going to tackle, that may also be started in the same position, but is a second wave, is a wave 1, is a wave 2, both are in a sinusoidal nature, but even though they are started at the same time, their peaks are, maximum values are not crosses at the same instant, and their lengths also differ. So differentiating these two waves, some of the terms are introducing here, then we are going to see their definitions. That's why terms and definitions of the physical quantities. In wave motions, we are going to see what are the terms means. One is wavelength, second one frequency, third one angular frequency, fourth one time period, fifth one wave number. These are the some of the physical quantities we are going to see in our waves. They are wavelength, frequency, angular frequency, time period, wave number. Each physical quantity has its own symbol. That also we are going to see. First we will see that wavelength. That is symbolized as a Greek symbol, that is a lambda. Lambda is a symbol for wavelength in a waves. So, which is called as a wavelength means, suppose if you are taken transverse waves, how they are propagating as a crest trough like that. So which one is one complete wave means one crest plus one trough combined, we called that is a one complete wave. Length of one complete wave is called as a wavelength. We are going to take an example diagram. This is one of the wave propagated along this direction. What we have means crest, trough. So if one crest to that neighboring crest if you take between that the beginning point of first crest to that beginning point of the second, that is a neighboring crest, we have one crest and one trough. That combining length of one crest to that trough is called as a wavelength, named as a lambda. Length of one complete wave, we shortly named as length of one complete wave is called wavelength. What we have in one complete wave means whatever may be that factor forms, that is in a transverse wave, crest and trough, one crest plus one trough, their length is called as a wavelength. Length of one complete wave is called as a wavelength. That is also another term we can define. Between the two successive crests or between the two successive trough in a transverse wave, length is called as a wavelength. Similarly, we can define the wavelength in our longitudinal waves also. So what is formed in our longitudinal waves? Compressions and rarefactions. Between the two successive compressions or between the two successive rarefactions, distance length is called as a wavelength. Their symbol is lambda and its unit of wavelength meter, SI unit. Okay. Next we are going to see about that factor frequency. What is frequency means? The waves can be propagated in a medium in a second. It can be covers a certain distance based on its velocity. So, how much number of cycles produced by that wave in a second called as a frequency. That is shortly named as number of cycles per second. The frequency can be defined as the number of cycles produced per second. Number of cycles produced per second is called as a frequency. That frequency symbol nowadays named as a n, small n. Previously we have another symbols also, f, r, mu. Frequency symbol is n, small f, r, nu. Its unit we have. What unit for that frequency means? Hertz is the frequency of that is hertz is the unit of frequency. But another factor we have time period, named as a capital T. What is the time period means? Time taken to complete one complete wave is called as a time period. What is in our transverse wave means? One crest and one trough. For completion purpose, what time it is taken, that is called as a time period. Time taken to that is a time taken to complete one full wave is called time period. Time taken to complete one full wave is called as a time period. Symbol named as a capital T. Unit is second. Next we have angular frequency. Symbol the omega. That already we know that angular velocity is equal to angular displacement by time. For one complete vibration, total angular displacement is 2 pi. That time taken is a time period t. That is omega is equal to 2 pi by t. That is in unit time. In a unit time, number of cycles can also be called as a angular frequency. Another, we have the formula also, that T and F can be related. F is equal, that is F is frequency is equal to 1 by T. Then instead of 1 by T, we can substitute here omega is equal to 2 pi F. So omega is equal to 2 pi by T, or omega is equal to 2 pi F, otherwise 2 pi N. That is nothing but a frequency. That is a angular frequency symbol. And we have a unit, that is radian per second. Radian per second. Another factor is wave number. Number of cycles per unit length. Is called wave number, symbolized as a K. So for that we have a formula, K is equal to 2 pi by lambda. K is equal to 2 pi by lambda. Then for 2 pi distance, how many waves, that is lambda numbers, how many waves it can be produced. That is named as, that is number of cycles per unit length is called as a wave number. So these are the terms and definitions we have in our wave motions. What are that means? That is wavelength, frequency, then we have wave number, angular frequency, time period, and also we have relation of the velocity also we have. You know that C is equal to mu lambda, that is speed C is equal to frequency into wavelength, that is called as a velocity also. Okay, you go through this, you will get a better idea. Thank you for all.